No jurisdiction wants to admit that they have a problem surrounding race.
Our Target 8 investigation into the lack of diversity in West Michigan juries continues right now. At 6 o'clock, we compared the racial makeup of juries to census data and found that while African Americans and Latinos each make up 10% of Kent County's population, they make up only 6% and 3.9% of jury pools. Target 8 investigator Coco McAvoy is taking this story further tonight, talking with a convicted killer and a defense attorney about why they think race matters. Coco?
Good evening. Our courts are required to select juries randomly from a, quote, fair cross-section of the community, and it's illegal to exclude a potential juror based solely on race. Still, Target 8 found we struggle to seat diverse juries. One man fought his case all the way to the Supreme Court based on the color of the Kent County jury that convicted him. It was a high-profile case that began in November of 1991. A bar fight escalated to a shooting where Soso's Lounge on South Division Avenue once stood. A man by the name of Christopher Rumbly was killed. And for the next 19 years, Diabolus Smith made headlines, charged with second-degree murder and standing trial for the crime in 1993.
And when I went to trial, I was in front of an all-white jury.
Smith appealed his conviction based on the racial makeup of his jury.
And they wasn't from my environment. They didn't understand, because the evidence wasn't enough evidence to convict me.
Smith's appeal made it all the way to the United States Supreme Court. But in 2010, the justices ruled Smith should not get a new trial. Tanya Kraus Phelan didn't represent Smith, but she defended many others just like him.
And from a defendant's perspective, who's a minority, looking at an all-Caucasian jury, to that defendant, it looks like unfairness, and it feels like unfairness.
That look and feel is exactly what Chief Judge Donald Johnston of Kent County believes leads to problems when people of color aren't present on a jury.
Well, I think people go back to their communities and say we had a stacked deck, we didn't have a fair shake. I think it creates disrespect for the system of justice and law and order generally.
Though Johnston believes jurors base their decisions on evidence and not race.
So, in other words, I don't think that black or Hispanic or white jurors are going to decide differently on a case because of their racial background.
Research on whether a jury's racial composition makes a difference is hard to come by. But a 2012 Duke University study found all-white jury pools in Florida convicted African-American defendants 16% more often than white defendants between the years of 2000 and 2010. That percentage was eliminated when at least one member of the jury pool was African American.
What is relevant and important in one community may not be relevant in another community, and those attitudes and perspectives, as we were talking before, plays a huge part in the way the jury will listen to the facts of a case and decide the facts of a case.
Kraus Phelan says diverse juries bring different ideas, viewpoints, and life experiences, and helps jurors separate any bias they may have when reaching a verdict.
It's just a very raw, sensitive subject. But the fact of the matter is, the criminal justice system is filled with raw, sensitive cases, and we need to be upfront and honest about what's happening in these trials.
And do you think your case would have had a different outcome if you had a more diverse jury?
Yes, I believe I would have. I wouldn't be sitting here for no life sentence. I believe that.
Michigan is one of only 7 states that still poll jurors from just one source, the list of licensed drivers and state ID holders. There's new legislation on the table that would add income tax filers and registered voters. I'm Coco McAvoy. Back to you.